I have heard from several sources that all the cells in the human body are replaced within about a year's time. One person I know has diabetes, and her pancreas has not worked for decades. Another has a nerve injury that prevents her hand from working. How can we vibrationally create the perfect cells to regenerate the body part that is not functioning properly?
Let's look at a physical body and all of its cells, many of them, trillions, hard to count. Imagine a very small community, and you've been watching them from a distance, and you notice that they have some very destructive beliefs. And some wise person says to you, well, don't worry about this village, because in time, all of these people who are now here practicing these not beneficial beliefs will be dead, and they'll be replaced with a whole new village. And you say, well, that does give me hope. And then you say, will they all die at the same time? And will they all be replaced at the same time? And then someone wise says to you, no, some of them will go and more of them will come, and some of them will go and more of them will come. And then you say, well, then it's going to take a while for these undesirable beliefs to be watered or filtered out, because the ones who are still there, that still have the beliefs, are going to teach them to the new ones who are coming on. So you get the gist of our story. It's sort of what happens with your body and your cellular communities. Once the cells in a particular area of your body begin behaving in the way that they do, they have the same power of influence that anyone does to anything that is near. The difference between the analogy of the people in the town, that it would be nice if they would all die at the same moment for the purpose of this story, and the cells in the body, is that the cells in your body are all pure positive energy cells. In other words, they are actively, instinctively working for their own personal survival. Something that we've been trying to get all of you to do, at least in these hours that we've been discussing here today. We want you to more selfishly approach your own experience. So the cells of your body, do you know that they are the first point of the summoning of the life force? Do you know that it is the cellular summoning of source, or the cellular asking, that is the reason that the doctors pronounce you alive or dead? In other words, it's that cellular summoning that is that difference. So the cells are summoning and source is answering. And if that were all that was to this cellular community, these cells that know how to be well, if they somehow found themselves teetering on a little bit of imbalance, they would just make the correction automatically, they always do, and source would answer the corrected request, and the cell would right itself within the body, and a body of very well cells is a very well body. But there is another factor that affects the way the cells are able to receive what they're asking for. And that's the influence of the mind, or the vibrational patterning, or the attitude or the mood of the human who is inhabiting the clump of cells. So now, what was your question again?
So since this process is going on, and what I want to do is get younger, or I want to heal a part of my body, I have a scar, and I know that all the cells are going to change out in that piece of skin in a short period of time. Vibrationally, I want to be able to instruct the cells, not instruct the cells, but vibrationally, I want to allow the
better words, because
to take place.
But hear the difference, because you caught yourself in a very wise way. Hear the difference between taking it upon myself in a sort of action journey way to instruct the cells, and taking the emotional journey, which means just find something to feel good about, get out of the way, and allow the cells to receive what they've been asking for. And that really is the key to healing. The key to healing is starting with the premise that is accurate, that well-being is the basic nature of the body, and then doing whatever it takes to keep yourself from interrupting or keeping that from happening. And then the next step in that progression is understanding that if you are interrupting or inhibiting the well-being, you're feeling negative emotion at the same time. Negative emotion is the indicator that you're doing that. So do your best to feel as good as you can feel emotionally, and you take care of everything, you see.
But can that be directed at a specific part of the body?
Yes, but you don't need to be the one that does it. By your directing it to a specific part of the body, usually causes you to focus upon what's wrong, so your efforts are counterproductive.
Okay, that makes sense.
So very often a healer will see someone in need of some repair, and their attitude is, well, I will shine my healing light upon that, which is understandable why they would think that, but it compounds the problem, because the problem is not for lack of asking. That's already been taking place. It's lack of letting the answer in, and just giving more answer, as in funneling healing energy toward a problem, doesn't help any. It usually causes a greater contradiction in the energy. When you apply more pure positive source energy to an area where resistance is already in existence, more discomfort happens. That's why often people will say, is it normal for all hell to break loose in my life when I begin doing meditation? And we say, yes, because when you begin meditating, the energy starts flowing, which makes any resistance you got going on show up more, especially at first, you see. So a healer who is really helpful is one who helps soothe his client into a place of allowing the answering to what the cells have been asking for. The very best healing words, if you are wanting to find a phrase that would be beneficial to everyone, whether they could really hear it and believe it and understand it or not, it would be, well-being should be yours, and your cells know exactly how to ask and what to do. And if you could completely get out of the way and trust, you would become well again. Because the cells know what they need, and they are asking from their direct source of life. And if you're not in the way of that, that cell is going to find its recovery. And if that cell does, the other cells can, and if enough of them do, you're going to feel really good. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So the trick is, how do I do that when I hurt? How do I do that when somebody's given me a label that frightens me? And we say, got to separate the two journeys. You can have the illness and feel hopeful, or you can have the illness and be afraid. You just got to soothe yourself. Words like faith and trust are really irritating, we know. But there is a vibration within those words. Faith and trust, the vibration that is really at the heart of those words, is a non-resistant place of expecting well-being even before I have any reason to, given the evidence that I have. And so what people usually say is, give me reason to have hope and I'll have hope. Or give me reason to have faith and I'll have faith. And so that's the reason that so many methodologies, so many different medicines and so many different processes have come about, because people, they're almost frantic for hope, you see. And anybody that can give it to them is a powerful healer. If you can find a way to convey hope and trust and faith, then you have helped them with their emotional journey. And when you do that, the natural resources will take care of everything else. And everything else is a dog and pony show. Everything else is just jumping through hoops for some other reason. It has nothing to do with what really happens. So the surgery, just an afterthought. The medicine maybe gives you reason to believe. All of that stuff is just serendipitous, but not at the heart of the remedy. So what did we just say? We said, here you are in a place that you don't want to be. You're sick. Your body hurts. And out of that contrasting experience is born a louder and clearer desire than has ever been emanated by you before. It went out sharp and clear, and Source heard it and answered it, and so help was on the way immediately. And then a surgeon said, let's do this, it will help. And those words soothed you into allowing the remedy that you were seeking. Or someone said, here's an herb. And your belief in them caused you to allow, and so you did. In other words, alignment. We don't care how you get it. Any way you can get it is just fine. We're not trying to guide you away from surgery or away from herbs or away from medicines or away from methodology or away from sound machines or away from anything. We're not trying to guide you away from action. We're just guiding you to tending to your emotional journey first, and the action will come so much easier.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Back up.